set so that we don't start too good, and then it gets better when these guys go on stage. And it's important to note what genre we're doing. I always thought the term genre was really overused and was French. And so what I'm going to do now is not Americana. It's a song by an American songwriter, and it does have some baseball references which I don't really understand, but other than that, this is a song. And the reason I'm doing this song is because I've never done this before, and maybe never do it again, so please forgive me. Like I said, I'm tapering the set. U2 are playing shows in Las Vegas. They've got 20 shows in this dome in Las Vegas, which is very fancy. And I'm sure they're doing good shows and making good use of this special venue. But just the term Las Vegas reminded me of Elvis, which in turn reminded me of this song. The day that Elvis died was like a mercy killing. America breathed a sigh of relief. We knew all about the drugs and the Vegas shows, and there wasn't much of anything that felt like grief. Well, I guess he should have done like James Dean did, instead of putting on weight and sinking down, down, down. Easier to take if he just skidded straight to Souvenir City and T-shirt town. And sometimes I wish I was smarter than I am, but I'm on my third city and I'm on my fourth car. I'm in my fifth apartment, and so many of my days have sprung. And now it's too late to crash, too late to burn, too late to die young. If Pete Rose had exploded like Roberto Clementine, he'd be hanging in the Hall of Fame without fail. Can you name a good movie Marlon Brando made whilst trying to stop his kid from going to jail? And the old people in the streets are telling you, don't become like me, but every day you get a little bit closer. And I guess we should have done like James Dean did, instead of putting on weight and sinking down, down, down. Easier to take if we just skidded straight to Souvenir City and T-shirt town. And sometimes I wish I was smarter than I am, but I'm on my fifth city and I'm on my sixth car and I'm on my eighth iPhone, and so many of my days have sprung. And now it's too late to crash, too late to burn, too late to die. Too late to crash, too late to burn, too late to die young. All right, Pearl and Matt, if you still want to join me, get up there. So talking about genres, what we're going to do now is some grunge folk, which is the new genre I'm developing. And like I said, I was against genres until I realised if I came up with my own, it was a good concept. So Matt said that actually I hadn't developed grunge folk, and that Nirvana did it when they were unplugged. I don't want to disrespect the dead, but Nirvana didn't do grunge folk, they did folk grunge, and it's a totally different genre. So get ready for this sound sensation. One, two, three. My life's been meandering into a stagnant hole, draining away. Gotta try to find some way to regain control of the day. So from this moment on, you're gonna notice changes. 'Cause if I die this week, don't wanna be ashamed of me. And I've been sick for a while now, that's given me some time to think about the direction my life has been moved into. And you're always well informed, you probably heard it before me. Don't pull no punches now, I wanna deal in brutal honesty. So from this moment on, I'm gonna be ruthless. Now I'm without roof. Not gonna be useless, and that's the truth. I'm gonna be ruthless. Now I'm without roof. I'm totally ruthless. After all my plans fell through, I spent New Year's Eve all on my own, plotting. Just called on a few old friends to make sure none of them was also sitting round at home, alone like losers, plotting for a different kind of new year. Plotting for a different kind of new year. Well, we're born alone and we die alone, and in between we're just kidding ourselves. Not gonna do it anymore. I've given up on the tooth fairies and elves. Stop watching television, stop watching for truth. I've given up on Collingwood, and most of all, I've given up on Ruth. So from this moment on, I'm gonna be ruthless. Now I'm without Ruth. Not gonna be useless, and that's the truth. I'm totally ruthless. Now I'm without Ruth. I'm gonna be ruthless. I've been sick for a while now, but that's given me some time to think. Thank you. You are reminding me of that audience at MTV Live. With your polite hand clap. Bob Dylan, when he won the Nobel Prize for Literature, he referenced, he had to give a little talk, and he referenced All Quiet on the Western Front, which I went out and read, and he referenced Moby Dick was one of the three works of literature he referenced. And then he referenced some Greek classic, which I haven't read. But I did read Moby Dick. And I was driving around outback Queensland at the time, reading about whaling. And I wrote this song. 2, 3, 4. There are plenty of fish left in the sea. You wouldn't say that to Captain Ahab, so why say it to me now? white one. Her poetry I don't forget. Don't say something dismissive that you might regret now. No one's the white one. This ghost upon my premises could be my guiding angel, could be my nemesis now. No one the white one. Spectres shine so bright, just like the full moon when it curses the stars like they dim and fade. No one the white There are plenty of fish left in the sea. You wouldn't dare say that to Ahab, so why say it to me?
Hey Bob, did you not play because I can't hear this lady talking while you're playing?
Oh yeah. It's it does get confusing sometimes. That last song featured Kelshi here on the lead guitar. This song features him on a special app called the Fork app, which requires him to get... He's tuning his guitar here like an old-fashioned musician, but what he's actually got to do is get his mobile phone out of his pocket.
This is Angel Strategy. So it's people to just name a few.
This is a batter song.
The Visigoths and the Ostrogoths and the Vandals, and yes, a couple of centuries this time, even the Franks themselves were in the same situation. The Romans cooked them using the recipe, using races, states. Now, the term cooked is the way that to describe this process what they used to do, almost the very same thing to the so-called
2-minute noodles are in my thoughts. 2-minute noodles are in my mind. 2-minute noodles are on my trousers. That's why I've left them behind. Get me a fork turned bull and I to butt rose, are conspiring to take over the world. It's true, and there's a hidden message in every Beatles song, telling me everything. And I'll tell you all about it just as soon as you get here for. The CIA has put a radio in my head, and all the food around here has been poisoned except 2-minute noodles. I had another 7 packets today. I alienated the last of my friends this week for giving too much of the game away. Get me a fork or any sharp object will do. I've got to get this radio out of my head, 'cause I can hear my thoughts, and they can hear my thoughts. They're recording every single word that I think, but I'm refusing to do what they're instructing me to do. My sanity's poised on the brink, I'm telling you. Thank you. Give us a gig in a big dome in Nevada and we can crank out that kind of electronic stuff that we're so much into here in the Soursob Bob band. These next 4 songs in the set are actually all off my first record. Just turned out that way, so now I'm trying to make it a feature of the set. That here's some stuff from the Living in the Long Grass record, which came out about 23 years ago. And ironically, the first song we're going to play is called Living in the Long Grass. And then we're going to play some Alanis Morissette straight after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. My life has gone to little pieces, and I don't get to see my nephew no more, nor my nieces, and both my wives have restraining orders on me, but they're happy to see each other. They have afternoon tea with my mother. One of them's been sleeping with my brother, and I've been living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. It's just a matter of class, living in the long grass. But I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm gonna get my act together. Gonna quit the drink and be healed by the weather. And meanwhile, time to think. Take it easy, take it slower. Don't have to worry about eviction no more. Just about the council more. And I've been living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. Living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. It's just a matter of class, living in the long grass. Times of crisis, you find out whom you can depend. And for a while last week, I thought mosquitoes were my only friends. Then a mate left for Byron Bay, gave me her audacity. So now I can sleep in the back of the tray. It's one better than sleeping in the food. And I've been living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. Living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. Living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. Living in the long grass, living in the long grass, living in the long, long, long grass. Living in the long grass. Sweet home Casuarina, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Casuarina, Lord, I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home right now, and I've been living in the long, living in the long, living in the long grass. Living in the long, living in the long, living in the long grass. Living in the long, living in the long, living in the long grass. Living in the long, living in the long, living in the long grass. It's just a matter of class. Living in the long grass. Anyone here called Carolyn? No one here called Carolyn. This song is for all of you. This song's called You're Not Carolyn. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Naked woman, what are you doing in my bed? Have you come here to seduce me? She said, no, I'm not naked, not if you look carefully. I said, you're naked enough to count as being naked. You're not Carolyn, 'cause Carolyn would never do something like that. And besides that, she was blonder than you are. She said no, and you're not Dennis, 'cause Dennis would never speak to me like that. And besides that, he was darker than you are. You have the hots for this, Carolyn, she asked. I said, don't speak about her like that. So she asked if she's someone you cared for. I said, don't speak about her in cliches. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand. I said, I don't think you can understand. Just don't talk about her, your words, they only defile her. You're not worthy, and you're not Carolyn, 'cause Carolyn besides that, she was blonder than you are. And she said, no, and you're not Dennis, 'cause Dennis would never speak to me like that. And besides that, he was always very particular about his personal hygiene. Naked woman, how do you do? What are you doing here in my bed? Have you come here selling ice cream? Breakfast at Tiffany's, breakfast at Mel Arne's, breakfast at Stephanie's, together. Breakfast at Gregory's, breakfast at Tim Arthur's, breakfast at McDonald's, together. Thank you. Do you want to talk about your body piercing? Your parents are here. What about the time when you were trying to carry your library books out of a university? Okay, well, before everyone was going out and getting tattooed, like I said, this is an old song. There was a phase where body piercings was all the rage, and I didn't quite understand it, being quite a squeamish person. So I didn't get involved. So this is a song about my non-involvement in the body piercing craze of the late 1990s, early 2000s. Until just recently, the body piercing craze? Is it ongoing, or you mean I've gone and got body pierced now? Yeah, I've got multiple body piercings now. They don't impair me in any way whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know a girl, she has an earring in a place where you'd think there'd be too much feeling for an earring. And I know a man, I don't know how he can, I don't know why he does, it must be for the feeling of the earring. Tell me, how do you eat? How do you sleep? How do you talk? How do you walk with your earring? Tell me, how do you breathe? How do you breastfeed? I must repeat, how do you eat with your earring? My testicles need my testicles need my testicles need. Come and pierce me with an earring. My testicles need my testicles need. It's a fashion statement, not a human rights violation. With an earring. I know a girl, she has an earring in a place where you'd think there'd be too much feeling for an earring. Too much feeling for an earring. I'm digging this song out to remind people that Like Pfizer got a bit of a bad reputation being associated with COVID, even though they didn't cause COVID. They were seen as, perhaps profiteering a bit from it or whatever. But I just like to remind everybody that Pfizer was established as a reputable company because of lots of worthwhile contributions it made to pharmacy prior to COVID. Whatever you might think about COVID, I think it's only fair that you acknowledge previous contributions by Pfizer. I don't want to get too political up here. I don't want to call a referendum on it or anything like that, but that's what this song is. That's where this song is kind of heading, or they didn't realise it at the time when I wrote it. I thought it was about personal problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josie went to a doctor for all her ills. She said she had enough of taking pills. Josie went to a doctor for all her needs. Came back home with a big bag of weeds, which had to be stewed in a pan in the oven. Into a brew which had to be drunk, and though the smell and the taste was far from pleasant, she said it had once cured many a peasant. But she wouldn't talk about the side effects. She had chronic fatigue. Now she just wants sex. I'm embarrassed to say I'm doing my best. Sometimes a man just needs a little bit of rest. That's only natural, isn't it? Perfectly normal, isn't it? Well, I tried to talk to her about my notions. Maybe she should cut down on the potions. Maybe she should show a bit more caution, because I was weak and in a state of exhaustion. But she's a believer, called me a blasphemer for daring to question her redeemer, and gave me a lecture on Western science, doctors, chemists and their alliance. But she wouldn't talk about the side effects. She don't sleep no more. She just wants sex. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm doing my best. Sometimes a man just needs a little bit of rest. That's only natural, isn't it? Perfectly normal, isn't it? Well, it seemed like there was a lot at stake, and I tend to copy other people's mistakes. So I went to a mystical man from the east who said that I should give up sugar and yeast. And when he found out I was Capricorn, he prescribed me rhinoceros horn and bits of other animals almost extinct. This is expensive, and I started to think that it wouldn't come under my private health cover. I went to a doctor, he said, no, there's another one way besides eating the balls of a jaguar. Gave me some pills, equal Viagra, but he wouldn't talk about the side effects. True, I was better equipped now for sex, but I strained my heart, I strained my back, pulled a muscle and had a heart attack. That's only natural, isn't it? Perfectly normal, isn't it? So now I'm in hospital where I should be. After my bypass, making a recovery. The doctors here are good and the nurses are nice. They're all treating me well, so it's sugar and spice. If you want to take a warning from me, say no to drugs, kids, say no to herbal tea. If you want to take a warning from me, say no to drugs, kids, say no to herbal tea. Just 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 say no to herbal tea. Thank you. How's the access visit going, Andy?
Loving every minute.
Good, good, good. Nice guitar, this Gibson here. when she goes on it. When she goes to the shops, you get to read about it on Facebook. And the information's up before the end of the shopping trip. When she gets back from the shops, she's got to have a nana nap. I know all about that 'cause she posted about it before she had her kip. And when she goes on a date, you get to read about it on Facebook. The information's up by the end of the day. Apparently the night turned into one big disappointment. Apparently he didn't have much to say. When she goes out for a meal, you get to read about it on Facebook. And the information's up before dessert is even served. If she gets into a fight, you get to read about it on Facebook in all its detail, and everything they got and what they deserved. And when she goes on a date, you get to read about it on Facebook. The information's up by the end of the day. Apparently the night turned into one big disappointment. He's a busy man, he didn't have time to stay. When it's a sunny day, it's on Facebook. Even before it's starting to rain. And when there's hail in the garden, you can see it on Facebook before it melts. And it's sunny again. And when she goes on a date, you get to read about it on Facebook. The information's up by the end of the day. Apparently the night turned into one big disappointment. She thought she had him on the hook, but then he got away. And these are lonely nights, my friend. My friend, these are lonely nights, my friend, my friend. If you make a public spectacle of your life, you got no right to complain that it makes people stare. So if you don't want people talking about what it looks like, maybe don't lay everything bare. And these are lonely nights, my friend, my friend. These are lonely nights, my friend, my brand new friend. Friend request. Now you have gone. You say that it's forever. When someone asks how long, forever, that's very long. Forever, with no regrets. For myself, I felt relief when you left, relief with no regrets. And I don't have to pretend I like your art anymore. I don't have to pretend I like your art anymore. I don't have to pretend anymore. But should you turn around, I know that I will greet you when I meet you in this town. No longer your clown, 'cause I don't wanna fight. I'll be polite and avoid labelling. But why walk the line between supporting and enabling anymore? And I don't have to pretend I like your art anymore. I don't have to pretend I like your art anymore. I don't have to pretend anymore. It's not against the law, something I abhor. Why don't you learn to draw? Tell me, what's the reason for? Why don't you learn to draw? Thank you. We've got two more songs and then Dr. DeSoto will be up. I told people I was playing with Dr. DeSoto and they said, Doctor Who? And I said, no, Dr. DeSoto. Get with the program. This song is also about market research, like the Facebook song, but it's about market research in a time of international conflict, and about Australia's servile relationship with the United States of America. And it's called New American Century. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're an independent market research company, much like your independent country. We just like to ask you a few questions. It won't take a minute of your time. Hope it's convenient and you're comfy. How do you like your news presented? How do you like their spots removed? What did you think of the fridge magnet promotion? How could the service be improved? How do you spend your peace dividend once your fuel tanks have been filled? Where are you thinking of taking your next overseas holiday? How would you like your Arabs killed? Welcome to the New American Century. Welcome to the New American Century. You spent your time committing acts of terrorism and telling me you're fighting terrorism. You spend your time committing acts of genocide and telling me you're fighting terrorism. How many peoples must suffer subjugation. Once you've given them a dose of your liberation, well, they know where you're coming from. They see where you've been, plundering and blundering, and welcome to the new American century. Welcome to the new American century. Do you hear voices in your head? Do you hear voices in your head? Do you hear voices incessant and clear? A new world order, more like some kind of psychotic disorder based on your control and fear. Well, we should have closed down Pine Gap years ago, but it's only now we plainly see the implications of being an occupied country with no independent foreign policy. So we bring you now an important message from the Prime Minister. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what it can do for America. And welcome to the new American century. 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 One more song. This song's called Muddy Waters. It's the Kelsey version of this song. And if anyone's interested in any Soursob Bob CDs, they're on that laminated table over there. And either come up and take them when I'm not looking, or come and find me and I'll sell you one. Depends on your desperation and your ethics, and or. Give that one to you, Matt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there once was two brothers with different mothers, but their father was the same. Both dodgy blokes, one was dealing in coke and the other was dealing cocaine. Well, the soft drink vendor had a girlfriend called Glenda, reckoned she was the pick of the bunch. And the other drug dealer had his own Sheila, and one day they all went out for lunch. One sunny day, on the banks of the mighty River Torrens, in a small kiosk that is just down that way. I don't want to cast suspicions on their drinking habits, because none of them was alcoholics. But after a few drinks their spirits rose, and as then they began to frolic. The highest spirited frolicker amongst them was the biggest of the brothers, called Jim. And that's when he grabbed his brother and both of the girlfriends, and he threw them into the muddy waters of the mighty River Torrens, into the muddy waters. One sunny day, one sunny day, Jim went back to his legitimate business, but next day a body was found. Lo and behold, it was that of his brother who mysteriously had drowned. The case was hard, they called in Scotland Yard to sort out this tricky death. No one was caught, they wrote a real good report. We'd said he couldn't hold his breath, he couldn't hold his breath. In the mighty River Torrens, he couldn't hold his breath in the muddy waters. One sunny day, one sunny day, the moral of this story is clear for those of you who want to hear it. Just don't go frolicking down by the river with those who are in higher spirits, because accidents can happen, just like what happened here. You can rest assured they wrote a real good report that will make everything clear as the mighty waters of the mighty river torrents, clear as the mighty waters. One sunny day, 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 one sunny day. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Kevin, on sound. Thank you. Thanks, Pearl. Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Wheat Sheaf. Thank you, Dr. DeSoto, for having us along this afternoon. And hope you enjoy The Doctor.